The fist connected with my jaw like a thunderclap, splitting the air and my world in half. And as I crumpled to the locker room floor, tasting copper and betrayal, I locked eyes with Jordan Hayes, the boy who'd made my high school hell, and saw, for the first time, not rage, but a mirror of my own shattered soul. In that frozen heartbeat, amid the jeers of his cronies echoing off the tiled walls, I realized the punches weren't just about hate. They were screams he couldn't voice, and mine were the only ones close enough to hear. 17 years of hiding who I was in Willow Creek, Ohio, had led to this. A bully's breakdown, disguised as my breaking point, pulling us both into a love story neither of us deserved, but both of us desperately needed. I wiped the blood from my lip with the back of my hand, the metallic tang sharp against the stale sweat of the locker room. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead like angry hornets, casting harsh shadows that made Jordan's face look even more angular, more haunted. His chest heaved, knuckles raw and red, but he didn't step back. Our eyes held, mine wide with shock and a flicker of something dangerously like pity, his narrowed but cracking at the edges, like ice under too much weight. "Get up, freak," he muttered, but his voice cracked on the last word, barely audible over the fading laughter of his retreating friends. They slammed the door behind them, leaving us in a silence thicker than the steam from the showers. I pushed myself up slowly, ribs aching from where his knee had landed earlier that week, and leaned against the cold metal lockers. Willow Creek High was a relic of the 50s, linoleum floors scarred from decades of scuffs, posters peeling with faded slogans about team spirit and bulldog pride. It was the kind of place where secrets festered like mold in the walls, where being gay wasn't just unspoken. It was a sin you'd pay for in bruises and whispers. I'd known that since freshman year, when the first shove came not from Jordan, but from the kid who'd overheard me humming a show tune in the bathroom. But Jordan? He was the king of it all, the quarterback whose arm could launch a spiral into the end zone from 50 yards, the guy whose smile made half the cheer squad swoon. And me? Alex Thompson, the skinny artist kid with paint under his nails and a sketchbook full of faces I'd never dare show, was his favorite target. "Why?" I finally whispered, my voice raw, not from the hit, but from the years of swallowing it down. Not why today, or why now, but why him? Why the golden boy with the easy laugh and the fists that felt personal, like they knew exactly where to land to unravel me? He flinched, like I'd slapped him back, and ran a hand through his dark hair, making it stand up in spikes. "Because you," he snarled, but it came out wrong, laced with something brittle, like he was reciting lines from a script he'd forgotten the heart of. He turned away, shoulders slumping under the weight of his Letterman jacket, the one embroidered with Hayes 7 in bold red thread. I watched him go, the door swinging shut with a metallic clang that echoed in my chest. That night, as I iced my face in the dim light of my bedroom, posters of indie bands and charcoal drawings tacked to the walls, I couldn't shake it. The crack in his armor, the way his green eyes had lingered, not with triumph, but with a question he couldn't ask. School the next day was a minefield. Willow Creek buzzed with the usual rhythm, the squeak of sneakers in the halls, the chatter of gossip by the vending machines, the distant roar of shop class saws. I kept my head down, hoodie pulled low, navigating the crowds like a ghost. My best friend, Mia, caught up to me at lunch, her curly black hair bouncing as she slid her tray next to mine in the cafeteria. She was the only one who knew about the bruises, about the sketches of boys I'd burned in the backyard last summer. "Alex, you look like roadkill," she said, her brown eyes narrowing as she poked at her mystery meat. "Jordan again?" I nodded, forcing a smile that didn't reach my eyes. Mia was my anchor, a fierce junior with dreams of escaping to New York for theater and a mouth that could cut glass. "He'll get what's coming," she muttered, stabbing her fork like it was his throat. But I wasn't so sure. In art class that afternoon, as Mr. Hargrove droned on about perspective, ironic, given how warped mine felt, I found myself sketching not the still life of apples on the table, but Jordan's face. The sharp line of his jaw, the way his lips curled in that half-smirk. I crumpled it before anyone saw, but the image burned. It was 2 weeks later, in the stuffy confines of the library after school, that fate, or cruel irony, threw us together. The annual history project, pair up or fail. Mr. Ellis, with his wire-rimmed glasses and perpetual coffee stain on his tie, had drawn names from a hat like it was a lottery. "Thompson and Hayes," he announced, and the room went still. Mia shot me a look that said, "Run," but I just stared at the worn oak table, heart pounding like a drum solo. Jordan sauntered in late, backpack slung over one shoulder, smelling faintly of grass and Axe body spray. He dropped into the chair across from me with a thud, legs sprawling like he owned the place. "This is bullshit," he grumbled, pulling out a notebook covered in doodles of football plays. Up close, without the buffer of his posse, he looked human, tired, even, with faint shadows under his eyes that makeup couldn't hide. "Yeah, well, deal with it," I shot back, surprising myself. My voice was steady, laced with the resentment I'd bottled for years. We were supposed to research the Underground Railroad. Ironic, paths to freedom we both craved but couldn't find. The library smelled of old books and lemon polish, sunlight slanting through dust motes like golden threads. For an hour, we worked in hostile silence, me typing notes on my laptop, him flipping pages with unnecessary force. Then it happened. A book slipped from the shelf above, some dusty tome on abolitionists, and tumbled down, pages fluttering like wounded birds. I reached for it instinctively, but Jordan lunged too, our hands brushing in the chaos. Electricity shot up my arm, not from static, but something deeper, warmer. We both froze, fingers tangled on the spine, breaths mingling in the narrow aisle. His skin was calloused from weights and throws, mine soft from pencils and clay. "Sorry," he muttered, pulling back first, but his cheeks flushed, a rare crack in the facade. That night, alone in my room with the fan whirring against the humid Ohio air, I replayed it. The touch, the flush. Was it nothing? Or everything? Willow Creek summers stretched long and lazy, fireflies blinking like secrets in the fields behind my house, but my mind raced. Dad was downstairs, nursing a beer after his shift at the auto plant, Mom humming in the kitchen, our family a patchwork of quiet routines that never quite stitched the loneliness. I was the odd one out, the dreamer who sketched boys instead of chasing girls, the kid whose heart beat wrong in a town that prized straight lines. The project dragged on, meetings in the library turning into a battlefield of barbed words and stolen glances. Jordan showed up more often than not, surprising me with facts he'd Googled on his phone, stories of runaways finding love in hidden attics, defined chains. "Like us, huh?" he joked once, but his laugh was hollow, eyes flicking to mine with that unspoken question. I started noticing things. The way he doodled hearts absent-mindedly on his notes, how he'd linger after we packed up, as if leaving meant losing ground. One rainy Thursday, thunder rumbling like distant artillery, we holed up in the AV room, dark, forgotten, with stacks of VHS tapes gathering dust. The storm outside mirrored the one building inside me. We'd finished the outline, but neither moved to leave. "Why do you hate me so much?" I blurted, the words escaping like rain through a cracked window. He leaned back in the creaky chair, rain pattering on the roof like impatient fingers. "I don't hate you, Alex." My name on his lips, soft, tentative, hit like a revelation. "It's complicated." He rubbed his neck, the gesture boyish, vulnerable. "My old man, he's got expectations. Football, girls, the whole deal." His voice dropped, confessional. "And you're just out there, living it. Or trying to." I swallowed hard, the air thick with unsaid truths. Trying and failing. I admitted, my own walls crumbling. Every punch feels like he's beating the gay out of me. Like if he hits hard enough, it'll stick. Jordan's face twisted, guilt etching lines around his mouth. "I know. God, I know." He stood abruptly, pacing the small room, shadows dancing from the flickering projector light. "It's not about you. It's me. All of it." The confession hung there, raw and electric, as lightning cracked outside, illuminating his features, beautiful in their brokenness. We didn't touch that day, but something shifted. The punches stopped. Whispers in the halls turned to curious stares. Mia grilled me over pizza at her house, her mom, bless her, serving slices with extra cheese and zero judgment. "He's into you, dummy," Mia declared, waving a crust like a wand. "Bulls into boys don't just stop charging." I laughed it off, but doubt not. Was it pity? A phase? Or the start of something real? The project presentation loomed, but so did homecoming. Lights strung across the field, bonfires crackling with the scent of burning leaves and possibility. Jordan cornered me in the parking lot one dusk, gravel crunching under his boots. "Come to the game," he said, not a command, but a plea. "Please." I went. The stands thrummed with cheers, the crowd a sea of red and white under floodlights that turned night to day. Jordan dominated the field, his throws precise, body a blur of power and grace. But every time he glanced to the bleachers, searching, always searching, my heart stuttered. After the win, Amid the chaos of hugs and high-fives, he found me by the fence, sweat-slicked and breathless. You came. Couldn't miss the show, I teased, but my voice trembled. His hand brushed mine, deliberate this time, fingers linking for a stolen second. Heat bloomed where we touched, a promise in the press of skin. That touch ignited it all. Late-night texts started. Innocent at first, memes about history fails, then deeper. Ever feel like you're drowning in plain sight? He'd write at 2 a.m., and I'd reply with sketches of submerged figures reaching for light. We met in secret spots, the old mill by the river, where willows wept into the water, fireflies our only witnesses. There, under stars that felt closer in Ohio's endless sky, we talked. About his dad's belt marks hidden under jerseys, about my mom's church friends who prayed away my confusion, about the boys we'd crushed on in silence, the dreams we'd buried. One night, the air heavy with cricket song and the scent of damp earth, he kissed me. It was clumsy, urgent, lips crashing like waves on shore, hands fumbling in the dark. I tasted salt, not from tears, but from the sweat of finally being seen. Alex, he whispered against my neck, voice breaking, I think I'm falling. But Willow Creek wasn't kind to falls like ours. Rumors swirled like autumn leaves. Whispers of that Thompson kid turning Hayes queer. Jordan's throws faltered, his smile strained. His dad noticed, the pressure mounting like storm clouds. Mine? He found a sketch I'd left out, two boys entwined, and his silence was worse than shouts. Son, he said finally, eyes weary, this town's got rules. The breaking point came at the project showcase, our board gleaming with routes of escape and notes on resilience. The gym buzzed with parents and pride, but Jordan's hand shook as he spoke, voice cracking on freedom. Afterward, in the emptying lot, his father waited, a hulking figure in a trucker's cap, eyes like flint. Get in the truck, boy, he growled, spotting me. Jordan hesitated, gaze pleading. Go, I urged, heart fracturing. But as he climbed in, tail lights fading into the night, I knew this wasn't escape, it was exile. The days after that night blurred into a gray haze, Willow Creek's relentless autumn stripping the trees bare, mirroring the ache hollowing me out. Jordan vanished from school. Rumors flew like shrapnel. Family trip, suspension, worse. I haunted the halls like a specter, Mia's arm linked fiercely through mine, her quips a lifeline against the stairs. He's not worth the tears, Alex, she'd say, but her eyes held the same worry mine did. Fear that love, fragile as it was, had already slipped through our fingers. Texts went unanswered. The mill stood silent under frost-kissed skies. I poured it into art. Canvases splashed with stormy greens and desperate blues, figures reaching across voids they couldn't bridge. Mr. Hargrove pulled me aside after class, his voice gentle over the scent of turpentine. This is powerful, son. Raw, but don't let it consume you. Easy for him to say, in his tweed jacket and tenured safety. For me, it was all I had left of us. A week in, Dad sat me down at the kitchen table, the one scarred from years of family dinners that tasted like obligation. Mom hovered by the stove, stirring soup that no one would eat, her apron a shield. Heard about Hayes, Dad rumbled, his calloused hands folding like prayer. Factory grease lingered under his nails, a reminder of the life he wanted for me, steady, straight, safe. Trouble follows boys like that. You steer clear here. I nodded, throat tight, the lie bitter as the cooling coffee between us. Yeah, Dad, just school stuff. But inside, I screamed. How could I steer from something that felt like home? That night, alone with the hum of the fridge and the distant train whistle, I cried. Not for the bully he'd been, but for the boy who'd whispered my name like a secret vow. Jordan resurfaced on a Monday, slipping into history class like a shadow, hoodie up, eyes down. The room tensed, whispers rippling like wind through wheat. He slid into his seat 2 rows back, and when our gazes met, accidental, electric, I saw the bruises blooming purple along his jaw, hidden poorly by collar and sleeve. My stomach twisted. Was it his father's work, or had he turned the rage inward? After the bell, as lockers clanged and kids streamed out, he caught my elbow in the hall, gentle, urgent. Alex, wait. We ducked into the stairwell, the air cool and echoing with our breaths. Up close, exhaustion carved hollows in his cheeks, but his eyes burned with that same fire. I'm sorry, he started, words tumbling like an apology long rehearsed. Dad found out. About us, the rumors. Locked me in my room, said I'd shame the family. Football's over if I don't fix this. Fix this. The words landed like blows, softer than his fists, but sharper for their cruelty. I leaned against the railing, the metal cold through my shirt. And what about you, Jordan? What do you want to fix? He laughed, a broken sound that echoed off concrete. Me? Hell if I know. All I know is, being without you feels like dying slow. His hand cupped my cheek, thumb tracing the scar from our first fight, tender, reverent. We kissed there, hidden in the dim light, desperate and deep, tongues tasting of regret and rain. It was a reclaiming, a defiance against the world closing in. But secrets in Willow Creek were like weeds, stubborn, spreading. Mia cornered me at lunch, her tray abandoned. Spill, Thompson. You're glowing like a firefly on steroids. I confessed in hushed tones over the din of silverware, her grin splitting wide. Knew it. But careful, his crowd sniffing around. She was right. In gym, Jake, Jordan's linebacker buddy, shoved me harder than necessary during dodgeball, his smirk laced with venom. Heard you two are cozy. Watch your back, fairy. The threat lingered, a shadow lengthening with the shortening days. Jordan and I carved out stolen moments. Notes passed in class, scribbled with inside jokes about abolitionists and love. Walks along the creek after dark, hands brushing under moonlight that silvered the water. He opened up more, about the pressure of being Hayes Sr.'s legacy, the son who threw the winning pass in Pee Wee League, the boy who'd kissed a teammate at camp and buried it deep. Thought I was broken. He admitted one evening, skipping stones across the glassy surface, ripples spreading like our fears. Till you make it feel right. I shared too, my first crush on the choir boy in middle school, the church youth group that called it sin, the sketches I'd hidden in floorboards. You're not broken, I whispered, lacing our fingers, the warmth chasing winter's bite. We're just different, and that's power. Homecoming dance loomed, a glittering trap under the gym's disco ball. Jordan begged me to go, as friends, he said, but his eyes pleaded for more. One night, pretend for them, real for us. I agreed, heart pounding at the risk. Mia helped me shop, thrifted button-down in soft blue, slacks that fit just right. You'll slay, she teased, curling my hair with a wink. The gym transformed, streamers in crimson and gold, bass thumping from speakers, kids swaying in clusters of awkward grace. Jordan found me by the punch bowl, looking devastating in black slacks and a fitted shirt that hugged his frame. You clean up nice, Thompson, he murmured, voice low, hand at my waist for a heartbeat too long. We danced, careful, circling the edges, laughs masking the heat building between us. Then it shattered. Jake and his crew cornered us by the bleachers, breaths sour with stolen beer. What's this, Hayes? Slumming with the art fag. Jake sneered, shoving Jordan's shoulder. The music drowned their jeers, but not the fury in Jordan's eyes. Back off, he growled, stepping in front of me, body taut like a coiled spring. It escalated fast, fists flying, a crack of bone on bone. I pulled Jordan back, heart hammering, as teachers swarmed. Suspended. Again. In the parking lot, rain slicking our skin, he turned to me, lips split, eyes wild. Worth it, he panted, pulling me close. We kissed under the downpour, fierce and unyielding, water mingling with blood and tears. I choose you, Alex. Every time. But choice came at a cost. His father dragged him home that night, truck tires spinning gravel like accusations. Mine waited on the porch, arms crossed, face thunderous. Dance over, he asked, voice edged. I nodded, dripping, the lie ready. But he saw it. The spark, the secret. Boys' trouble. End it. I couldn't. Instead, I ran. To the mill, where Jordan met me at dawn, duffel in hand. I'm out, he said, voice steady despite the tremor. Couch surfing with coach, till I figure it. Panic clawed me. 18, jobless, in a town that chewed up dreams. Stay with us, I begged. Dad'll come around. He shook his head, pulling me into an embrace that smelled of rain and resolve. Not yet, but soon. We parted with a kiss that tasted of goodbye, but I clung to the promise in his eyes. Winter crept in, snow blanketing Willow Creek in hush. Jordan crashed on friends' couches, picking up shifts at the diner, flipping burgers with a grin that didn't reach his eyes. We texted feverishly, met in snow-draped fields, building snowmen with lopsided smiles that mirrored our own. Love grew roots there, deep and defiant, in stolen warmth against the cold. But cracks widened. Mia's mom offered him a room. No strings, kid. And he took it, gratitude shining. Holidays loomed, a minefield of family facades. Dad's silence thickened, mom's worried glances pierced. We love you, Alex, she said one night, Folding laundry, voice soft. No matter. It cracked something in me. Hope, maybe. Christmas Eve, Jordan showed at my door, cheeks flushed from cold, a wrapped sketchbook in hand. Drew this, he said shyly, pages filled with our moments, dances in rain, kisses by creeks. I pulled him inside, ignoring Dad's grunt from the living room. We sat on the stairs, whispering futures, college scholarships, cities where love wasn't a crime. Then shouts, Dad, finding us. Out, he bellowed, face red. Jordan bolted, but not before Dad's words landed. You'll ruin him, boy. Door slammed, heart splintered. I confronted him later, tears hot. He's not ruining me. He's saving me. Dad deflated, old pain surfacing. Lost my brother to this town once. Same hate. Can't watch it happen again. His confession, uncle gone, whispers of suicide, hung heavy. We talked till dawn, walls tumbling brick by brick. Spring thawed the ice, but not the storm. Jordan's throw sharpened, scouts buzzing. Mine. Acceptance letters piled. Art school in Chicago calling. Graduation neared, a horizon of possibility laced with terror. One night, under blooming dogwoods, he dropped to one knee. Not proposal, but plea. Come with me, Alex. Or let me go with you. But together. I said yes, sealing it with a kiss that bloomed like the season. But Willow Creek fought back. Jake's crew vandalized Jordan's truck, slurs keyed in deep. Threats escalated, shadows lengthening. We reported it, principal's office a farce of boys being boys. Fear not, but love armored us. The night before prom, our defiant encore, disaster struck. Jordan's phone buzzed mid-rehearsal. Dad, drunk, raging at home. He's gonna hurt himself, Jordan whispered, paling. We raced to the Hayes Ranch, gravel flying. Inside, chaos, furniture splintered, father swinging wild. Jordan tackled him, pleas tearing from his throat. Stop, Dad. I'm your son. I called 911, heart in throat, as sirens wailed closer. Cops hauled Mr. Hayes away, cuffs glinting. In the aftermath, Jordan collapsed against me, sobs racking. It's over, he choked. All of it. But endings birth beginnings. Aunt Clara, kind-eyed, from Cleveland, arrived, wrapping Jordan in hugs and plans. You're coming with me, nephew. Fresh start. Dad showed too. Awkward, offering a gruff hand. Proud of you, son, he told Jordan, voice thick. Both of you. Prom glowed. Tuxes crisp, dances free. Under twinkling lights, Jordan pulled me close, whispering, first love. Last bully. We laughed, tears mingling, the future vast as the stars outside. Yet shadows lingered. Summer jobs funded our escape, Chicago-bound, art and football scholarships entwined. Willow Creek faded in the rear view, but its lessons scarred sweet, love as rebellion, forgiveness as freedom. Chicago hit like a fever dream, skyscrapers piercing clouds that Willow Creek had never dreamed of, streets pulsing with lives unbound by small-town chains. We crashed in a shoebox apartment off campus, walls paper-thin but ours, furnished with thrift finds and dreams stacked like boxes. Jordan enrolled in community college, football a side hustle for the local rec league, his throws still poetry in motion. I dove into art school, canvases blooming with colors that once felt forbidden, vibrance of skin on skin, emotions laid bare. Mornings were ritual, coffee brewing in a pot that gurgled like laughter, sunlight slanting through blinds to kiss his bare shoulder as he stretched, muscles rippling from dawn runs. Morning, artist, he'd murmur, pulling me back to bed, lips tracing lazy paths that ignited us anew. Love, we learned, was practice, tender in daylight, fierce in the dark, a language of touches and truths. But scars don't fade with miles. Nightmares woke him, flashes of his father's rage, fists blurring. I'd hold him then, whispering Willow Creek into irrelevance, our bodies anchors against the tide. My own ghosts lingered, doubts that this happiness was borrowed, that the world would reclaim it. Therapy helped, group sessions at school, circles of queer kids sharing stories like communal bread. Jordan resisted at first, arms crossed in the waiting room. I'm fine, he'd insist, but his eyes begged otherwise. Try, I urged one rainy afternoon, as thunder rolled over Lake Michigan's Chop. He went, emerging hours later quieter, but lighter. Talked about Dad. He admitted over takeout pizza, grease spotting the coffee table. Forgiveness ain't forgetting. It's letting go. We cried then, pizza forgotten, tangled in release. Friends wove in. Diverse tapestry. Lena, a trans sculptor with ink-sleeved arms and wit sharp as chisels. Marcus, non-binary poet whose verses dripped honeyed ache. Dinners became symposiums, debates on identity over wine, laughter echoing till neighbors banged ceilings. Jordan bloomed among them, his laugh freer, stories of Ohio met with nods, not judgment. "You're home now," Lena toasted once, glasses clinking. And in his eyes, reflecting candlelight, I saw he believed it. Summer brought internships, mine at a gallery downtown, walls alive with queer icons, his coaching kids at a youth center, teaching more than spirals, resilience, the beauty in bending without breaking. Evenings, we'd wander Wrigleyville, hands linked openly, the city's hum a bomb. One night, at a rooftop party, music thumping, skyline aglow, Jordan pulled me to the edge, wind whipping our shirts. "Remember the mill?" he asked, voice soft over the bass. "Fireflies and firsts," I replied, leaning into him. He kissed my temple, breath warm. "This is better. You're better." But beneath the joy, undercurrents stirred. A call from Willow Creek, his aunt, voice tight. "Your dad's out. Parole. Asking for you." The words landed like frost, chilling the heat. Jordan paled, grip tightening. What do I say? We paced the apartment, city lights mocking our turmoil. "Nothing yet," I counseled, drawing him down to the rug, our forms a knot of comfort. "You're not that boy anymore." Autumn deepened, leaves carpeting sidewalks in crimson confession. School ramped. Midterms a gauntlet. My portfolio critiques brutal but birthing growth. Jordan's team made playoffs, crowds roaring his name. But post-game, he'd crash into me, seeking solace in my arms. "They see the hero," he'd whisper. "But you see me." Thanksgiving pulled us back, reluctant pilgrimage to Ohio, snow-dusting fields like forgotten sugar. Mia squealed at the airport, enveloping us in hugs scented of cinnamon. "City boys," she crowed, driving us to her expanded home, now with a nursery corner for her brother's kid. Dinner was chaos, tables groaning with turkey and tails, Dad at the head, quieter but present. "Missed you, son," he said, passing potatoes, his eyes holding apologies weight. Jordan's aunt hosted the Hayes side, awkward, but Clara's warmth bridged gaps. No father, but letters arrived, scrawled pleas for forgiveness, promises of change. Jordan read them silently, then burned one in the backyard fire pit, ashes swirling skyward. "Steps," he said, leaning on me. "Not leaps." Winter holidays glittered, Chicago's magnificent mile a wonderland of lights and ice skates. We glided hand in hand on the rink, laughter bubbling as we tumbled, Jordan's strength steadying my spins. New Year's Eve, atop a friend's building, fireworks erupted, bursts of color echoing our hearts. To us, he toasted with cheap champagne, pulling a velvet box from his pocket. Not rings, but matching pendants, silver spirals, etched with free. "Our paths," he explained, fastening mine. Tears blurred the sky, joy sharp as the cold. Spring semester surged, ambition sharpening. I landed a mural commission, queer history on a community center wall, figures escaping chains into embrace. Jordan watched me paint, brush in hand, his pride a tangible warmth. "You're magic," he'd say, stealing kisses amid scaffolds. His coaching gig evolved, starting a GSA at the center, kids like us finding voice. Paying it forward, he grinned, but vulnerability flickered. "What if I'm not enough?" "You're everything," I affirmed, pulling him close amid paint-splattered tarps. Intimacy deepened, nights exploring not just bodies, but souls, vulnerabilities bared like fresh canvas. We fought too, petty over dishes, deeper on fears of outgrowing roots. "You'll leave me behind," he'd accuse once, voice small. "Never," I'd vow, sealing with touch that mended. Summer scorched, internships intensifying. A gallery show for me, nerves electric, Jordan front row, his whistle piercing applause. His team won regionals, scouts circling again. But shadows crept. A letter from his dad, returned unopened, whispers from home of Jake's downward spiral, arrests, regrets. Karma. Jordan mused over ice cream cones by the lake, gulls wheeling. Or just life. We volunteered at Pride, floats rainbow bright, marches thundering with chants of love. Jordan carried a sign, from bully to beloved. Strangers hugged, stories shared. A teen, eyes wide, murmured, "You give me hope." In that moment, under confetti rain, I saw our story's power, not just ours, but beacon. Fall brought senior year, senioritis laced with launch. Applications flew, MFA for me in New York, transfers for him to state. Distance loomed, a specter. "We'll make it," he promised during a harvest moon walk, leaves crunching confessions. But doubt gnawed, success pulling directions. Thanksgiving redux. Ohio softer. Dad's hand on Jordan's shoulder now familiar. Boys, he said gruffly, world's big. But home's here. Mia announced Juilliard, screams, toasts. Holidays in Chicago dazzled. Tree lighting, kisses and snow. New Year's, same rooftop. To forever, Jordan whispered, pendants glinting. Yet crisis brewed. Jordan's knee buckled in a game. Popped like gunfire, agony twisting his face. ER lights harsh, MRI confirming tear. Out for season, Doc said. He shattered, dreams fracturing, identity adrift. What am I without the ball? He raged in our bed, tears soaking pillows. You're Jordan, I held firm, icing his swell. My Jordan. Therapy doubled, friends rallied. Lena's sculptures as distraction, Marcus's poems as poultice. He coached from sidelines, voice steadying kids as his own wobbled. Adapt, he'd tell them, mantra for us. Spring bloomed resilient, my mural unveiled, crowds weeping at its truth. Jordan's limp faded, spirit unbroken. Graduation neared, caps poised. One night, under stars, he knelt again, this time with a ring, simple band etched with spirals. Marry me, Alex. Not tomorrow, but soon. Build this life. Tears yes, kiss ceiling. Willow Creek called. Roots to uproot, goodbyes bittersweet. Dad hugged fierce. Love hard, son. Mia sobbed. Don't forget us Hicks. As we drove east, rings glinting, Jordan glanced back. From bully to this, he marveled. I squeezed his hand. Best plot twist. New York swallowed us whole. Neon veins pulsing through Manhattan's concrete heart. A far cry from Chicago's windy embrace or Ohio's quiet fields. We sublet a walk-up in Brooklyn, stairs creaking like old bones, but the view of the bridge at dawn made it paradise. MFA program thrust me into critiques that dissected soul deep, professors with accents sharp as scalpels praising my visceral honesty. Jordan transferred to NYU. Kinesiology his new North Star. Rehabbing the knee, coaching part-time, his laugh echoing in cramped cafes where baristas knew our orders. Mornings tangled in sheets threadbare but sacred, his fingers tracing ink on my back. Tattoo from Chicago, spiral for our paths. Love you, he'd murmur, coffee breath warm, before dashing to class. Evenings, we'd collapse on fire escapes, city symphony below, honks, laughter, life unbound. Love evolved. Deeper, tested by subways delayed and deadlines devoured, but resilient, like weeds through pavement. Friends multiplied. Diverse mosaic. Priya, Indian-American playwright whose scripts wove queer tapestries. Theo, queer black dancer whose grace shamed gravity. Potlucks and lofts. Debates till dawn on art's role in revolution. Jordan thrived. His stories of Willow Creek met with awe, not pity. You're survivors. Priya toasted, curry steaming. He beamed, but privately confessed. Sometimes I miss the simplicity. The fields. I miss your throws. I'd tease, pulling him close. But truth, we missed roots, the ache of upended lives. Calls home anchored. Mia killing it in additions. Dad sending care packages of jerky and proud dad cards. Jordan's aunt mediated dad updates. Therapy, sobriety shaky, but striving. He's trying, she'd say. Jordan nodded, walls thinning. Maybe I will too. Autumn leaves turned fiery, mirroring my portfolio. Exhibition invite from a Soho gallery. Nerves electric as exposed wire. Opening night. Black tie swirl, critics murmuring over my pieces, bullies transfigured to lovers, bruises blooming roses. Jordan stood sentinel, suit crisp, eyes shining. You did this, he whispered amid clinks of glasses. A collector bought the centerpiece. Our mill kiss, abstracted in oils. Champagne fizzed triumph. Winter bit, blizzards blanketing stoops, holidays a whirlwind. We flew home, Ohio dusted white, Mia's show a ride of song. Dad enveloped us, gruff affection, bigger than us now. Jordan's dad waited on the porch, gaunt, eyes clear. Handshake tentative, words halting. Proud, son. Finally, hugs followed, tears freezing on cheeks. Back in New York, New Year's on Times Square, crush of bodies, ball dropping like hope renewed. To chapters, Jordan yelled over cheers, kissing me fierce. Spring semester surged. My thesis a multimedia beast. Jordan's internship at a sports clinic, mentoring athletes with stories like his. Pride Month exploded. Parades rainbow rivers, floats thundering our truths. We marched, signs high. Love rewrites bullies. A news crew snagged us, from hate to heart. Airing local, going viral in queer feeds. Messages flooded. Thanks from kids, invites to speak. Our story, Jordan marveled, scrolling in bed. Helping. But fame's shadow, trolls spewing vitriol online, echoes of Jake's jeers digitized. Jordan tensed, scrolling ceasing. They don't know us. I pulled the laptop away, bodies aligning. They don't matter. Summer internships peaked, mine curating a queer archive, dusty letters whispering history's parallel hours. Jordan shadowed therapists, knee brace off, runs resuming. One humid eve, Central Park picnic, sandwiches wilted, but his proposal redux, ring polish gleaming. Elope, he joked. Vegas lights. I laughed, but pondered, commitment's gravity sweet. Fall brought milestones. My thesis defense, panel nodding approval, Jordan's whoop echoing halls. His clinic promo, lead counselor, kids flocking. But strain showed, commutes clashing, exhaustion fraying tempers. Fight erupted over forgotten anniversary, words sharp. You're drifting, he accused. Art's your lover now. Hurt sliced. And football's yours, ghost you chase. Silence stormed, days cold. Mia mediated via call. Talk, idiots. Love's work. We did. Dinner at our first New York haunt. Apologies over pasta. Scared of losing you, he admitted. To success, to space. I cupped his face. You're my center. Reconciliation blazed. Nights reclaiming, touches mapping forgiveness. Winter holidays. Home again. Families blending. Clara's table groaning. Dad's toasts heartfelt. Jordan's dad joined. Stories swapped. Failures, redemptions. Boys like you, he said, clapping Jordan's back. Change worlds. NYE, rooftop with friends. Fireworks, vows whispered. Spring, my grad show, gallery packed. Jordan's speech. He paints hearts I live. Tears, applause, sales soaring. Yet pivot, job offer for me. LA curator, sun-soaked dreams. Jordan's clinic expanding west. Together, he asked, map spread. Always. Graduation caps soared, futures beckoned. Willow Creek visit. Full circle, mill revisited. Ivy cloaked, memories moss soft. From here, Jordan said, arm around me. I nodded, to everywhere. Los Angeles sprawled like a golden promise. Palm shadows dancing on sun-baked sidewalks. Ocean whispers carrying salt and second chances. We leased a bungalow in Silver Lake. Stucco walls echoing laughter, yard bursting bougainvillea. My curator gig at the Getty bloomed. Exhibits weaving queer narratives through time, artifacts aching with untold loves. Jordan joined a high-end rehab center, elite athletes his canvas, knee history forging empathy. Sunrises painted the hills pink, our mornings slow, yoga on decks, his hands guiding mine, breaths sinking like heartbeats. West Coast warriors, he'd quip, avocado toast in hand, before traffic swallowed him. Evenings unwound on beaches, toes in surf, city lights winking conspiratorially. Love matured, comfortable as worn jeans, exciting as stolen glances in boardrooms. Network burgeoned, Hollywood fringes, director pals scripting our vibe, artists collabing on installations. Sophia, Latina filmmaker with firebrand eyes, cast us as consultants for a coming-out drama, authentic, not after school. Theo relocated, dance studio thriving, potlucks now fusion feasts. Jordan mentored a teen client, echo of young US, shy throws hiding hurt. Like coaching myself, he'd say, pride swelling. Autumn cooled slightly, award season buzzing. My exhibit won acclaim. LA Times rave. Thompson-Hayes duo redefines resilience. Jordan's center featured in sports mags, from field to healing. But spotlight scorched. Paparazzi flashes at galas, questions probing. Bully passed, true? Jordan stiffened beside me, smile tight. Old news, he'd deflect, but home, Vince burst. They reduce us to trauma porn. I held him on the couch, waves crashing audible through screens. We're more. Let him chase. Therapy evolved, couple sessions, unpacking baggage, his fear of abandonment, my imposter pangs. You're enough, therapist echoed our mantras. Holidays hybrid. Thanksgiving in LA with new crew. Turkey tacos innovative. Christmas Ohio bound. Snow welcome shock. Families merged seamless. Dad barbecuing with Clara. Mia flying in. Tails tumbling. Jordan's dad, steadier, gifted tools. Build strong, son. Tears to toasts. NY beach bonfire. Flames leaping. Resolution sealed with sand kisses. Spring surged. My solo show, Venice Beach Gallery pulsing crowds. Jordan's promo. Director of youth programs, impact rippling. Pride exploded. Floats ocean-themed. Our float, from shadows to shore. Marching, Hands linked. Teen from his center beamed. You saved me. Shadow. Jake surfaced. Email tentative. Saw your story. Messed up bad. Sorry. Jordan read, deleted, but lingered. Forgive. I asked. Working on it. Summer sizzled. Valkyrie big sir. Cliffs dramatic as our arc hikes hand in hand. Whispers of vows. Courthouse wedding? Fall. Heart yes. Fall foliage foe in palms, but wedding planning bloomed. Small. Beachside. Intimates only. Invites winged. Mia maid of honor. Dad walking me. Rehearsal dinner. Laughter laced nerves. Ceremony dawn. Waves chorus. Jordan and linen. Eyes ocean deep. Vows raw. From punches to promises. Rings exchanged. Kiss salt kissed. Honeymoon Hawaii. Volcanoes mirroring passion. Hikes to hidden falls. Husbands. He tested. Grin boyish. Nights star canopied. Bodies eternal dialogue. Back. Life accelerated. My book deal. Memoir co-authored. Bully to beloved. Jordan's TEDx talk. Healing throws. Buzz built. Tours taxing but transformative. Fans shared parallels. Pain alchemized purpose. Winter Whisper. First anniversary. Recreating first kiss. Mill via VR for laughs. Then real LA beach. But health hiccup. Jordan's knee twinged chronic. Doc urging surgery. Scared. He confessed pre-op. Sterile gown vulnerable. I stroked his hair. I've got the catches now. Recovery bonded. Me caregiving. Him vulnerable. Love's quiet power. Spring rehab. Walks lengthening. Spirits soaring. Yet curve. My exhibit Berlin invite. His conference overlap. Go. We chorused. Trust tested. Solo weeks. Calls constant. Reunions explosive. Summer peak. Book launch. Signings swarmed. One fan. Teen tear streaked. Your bully's my crush. Hugs. Hope handed. Fall. Second wedding vow renewal? Nah. Vow lived daily. Ohio roots. Community center opening. Our names etched. Dad's speech. Boys made men. Proud. NY cliffs. To evolutions. Kiss eternal. But chapter close. Fertility ponder. Surrogacy dreams. Family forging. Ours. Jordan vowed. As sun dipped, he turned. Story never ends. I smiled. Our best yet. Years layered like lacquer. Los Angeles's perpetual summer etching lines of joy and quiet were on our faces, the bungalow now home to succulents thriving and shelves groaning under awards. The memoir soared bestseller lists, adaptations whispered in studio lots. Jordan's center expanded, satellites in underserved hoods. Kids' futures rerouted through his steady hand. Mornings, we jog Runyon trails, sweat mingling, banter light. Still can't outpace your heart. He'd tease, lacing fingers at peaks. Love at decades mark, season wine, complexities adding depth. Anniversaries marked intimate, private chefs, stargazing domes. But voids echoed, family yearnings, the patter of tiny feet absent. Consultations with agencies, profiles shared, hopes hung on threads. Whenever, we'd affirm, but ache sharpened holidays. Network deepened, Sophia's film greenlit, us cameos, authentic glances stealing scenes. Theo's troupe toured, Priya's play off Broadway. Galas glittered, but home called strongest. Movie nights, feet tangled, plots forgotten for hours. Autumn awards, my MacArthur nod, genius, tagline humbling, Jordan's grin widest. His nonprofit gala, donors dazzled by testimonials, teens crediting Coach Hayes 4 outs. But under spotlights, old phantoms, a donor's offhand, overcame so much, pity veiled. Post-party, deckside, we're not exhibits, he vented. I pulled him close, we're legends. Our terms, therapy check-ins, gratitude journals, legacy talks. Kids, he'd probe softly. If stars align. Holidays heartfelt. Ohio Yule, grand now. Nieces/nephews, Mia's brood, tumbling. Dad's stories hoarier. Jordan's dad, frail but fierce, carved turkey. Grandkids next? Winks wishes. NY yacht, waves lapping, toast to tomorrows. Spring, surrogacy match, Emma, artist mom-to-be, profile resonating. Meetings warmed, shared sketches, dreams aligned. IVF cycles tense, needles, weights, hopes fragile. Positive test, ultrasound heartbeat flutter, tears tidal. Pregnancy bloomed. Emma's glow ours vicarious, check-ins cherished. Jordan's nesting, crib assembly fumbles, my murals for nursery, whimsical worlds. Summer swells, baby shower rainbow themed, friends toasting little legend. Fall harvest. LA Hills golden. Anticipation electric. Labor call midnight. Rush to birthing center. Hands clasped through contractions. Dawn cry. Riley Hayes Thompson. Tiny fists waving defiance. Jordan wept first, cradling. Our miracle. I kissed his temple. Family. Parenthood upended. Sleepless symphonies. Diapers daisy-chained. Riley's eyes, green like Dad's. Curiosity boundless. Jordan's dad visited, rocking gentle. Like you, boy, fighter. Dad cooed Ohio lullabies. Mia Andy Supreme. Spoil City. Winter firsts. Riley's giggles at lights. Our vows renewed ringside. Spring toddles. Park picnics. Jordan coaching mini kicks. Pride with carrier. Rainbow flag high. Legacy marching. But balance tilted. Careers called. My Europe tour. Jordan's expansion. Nannies bridged. FaceTimes bridged hearts. Fight flared. Missing kicks. He grieved a game. Missing easel. I countered. Retreat. Couples weaken Big Bear. Axes to anxieties. Team. Recommitted. Summer splash. Family vacui. Hawaii redux. Riley splashing. Our love surf schooled. Fall. Riley's first words. Dada. Duel. Hearts doubled. Holidays hubbub. Ohio overrun. Siblings swelling ranks. Jordan's talk. From one to many. Fatherhood's rewrite. NY Beach. Riley asleep. Waves whispering. Best chapter. Jordan murmured. Yet growth. Second child ponder. MA open. Cycles anew. Joys compounded. As stars wheeled. He turned. Story swells. I nodded. Endlessly ours. Decades danced by. Los Angeles's lights softening edges. Our bungalow a haven of memories. Riley's height marks on doorframes. Sibling Ellie's crayon murals fading to heirlooms. Careers crested. My museum directorship. Exhibits global. Jordan's Foundation International. Hayes Haven's safe spaces blooming. Mornings meditative. Yoga with teens. Coffee with kin. Riley, now lanky artist athlete. And Ellie, fierce activist. Orbiting orbits expanding. Love at twilight. Embers eternal. Touches treasures. Anniversaries epic. Grease idols. Vows refreshed under olives. Grandkids? Early yet, but Riley's partner hints. Ellie's adoptions dreamed. Network familial. Mia's Broadway. Sophia's Oscar. Theo's legacy troupe. Galas generational. Riley debuting curation. Ellie keynoting. Autumn accolades. Lifetime honors twinned. Speeches intertwined. From bully's blow to love's legacy. Standing ovations, but backstage. We did it. Whispered. Hands clasped. Therapy legacy. Family circles. Unpacking inheritances. Grandpa's stories. Riley probes Jordan's scars. Strength from stumbles. He teaches. Holidays hearth. Ohio epicenter. Tables transgenerational. Jordan's dad. Silvered sage. Bounces great-grand. Winks eternal. In white cliffs. Progeny around. Toasts timeless. Spring prides. Multi-gen marches. Signs evolved. Generations free. Challenges crested. Health scares. Jordan's knee replacement. My vision flicker. Face tandem. Resilience refined. Fights fewer. Fiercer resolved. Still choose you. Affirmed. Summer sagas. Europe odysseys. Kids' tales fueling. Fall. Memoirs sequel. Echoes of us. Grandkids forewords. Winter warms. Hearth stories. Riley's wedding. Us officiating. Tears title. Ellie's union. Global. Us anchors. Yet pinnacle. Willow Creek return. Center groundbreaking. Our names eternal. Mill milestone. Picnic posterity. Tales told true. As sun set gold. Jordan leaned. Never thought this ending. I smiled. Ring-worn hand in his. No end. Just us. Forever. Riley's voice. Distant. Best story ever. We nodded. Hearts full. From bully's bruise to love's boundless bloom. A tale worth every tell. In the quiet that followed, as stars pricked the velvet sky over the creek that birthed us, I realized the true arc. Not redemption's rush, but grace's gentle grind. We'd clawed from hate's hollow to humanity's height, proving love, not lightning, but lantern, lights the longest nights. And in that light, we walked on, hands woven, stories sung in every step. Forgiveness frees, vulnerability victories births, and first loves, if tended true, last lifetimes. The end. Never. Just the heart of it all, beating, bold, beautifully ours.